John Legend gave a performance that was eagerly anticipated as part of his 2025 An Evening with John Legend tour. The performance took place at the Hollywood Bowl on a cool evening. An intimate night of hits and new songs was promised by the singer who won a Grammy and is noted for his beautiful voice and profound compositions. The event left some fans seeking more emotional depth, which resulted in a fairly bloodless performance from a singer whose talent is still unparalleled. Despite the fact that Legend's vocal prowess and charm were evident, the concert left some fans wanting deeper emotions. The highs and lows of the night are discussed in this review, which draws on the setlist, the reactions of the audience, and the background of Legend's developing career, one that is capable of captivating attention. As soon as John Legend entered the public eye, he was wearing a navy suit that had been fashioned to perfection, and his presence was irresistible. His voice soared with the unforced warmth that has made him a household name, and he began his performance with the song "Love Me Now." The Hollywood Bowl, with its recognizable shell and starry backdrop, heightened the sense of closeness that was present during the event, as hundreds of spectators danced to the beat of the music. The vocal control that Legend displayed was flawless, and he navigated the high notes of the song with a clarity that silenced any voices of doubt. Early on in the set, songs such as Tonight, Best You Ever Had, and Green Light demonstrated his talent for creating catchy choruses. His ability to combine soul, R&B, and pop music continues to be a defining characteristic of his artistic style. Get Lifted, which was Legend's debut album in 2004, and Love in the Future, which was his masterwork in 2013, were featured prominently in the playlist. Songs such as Used to Love You and Ordinary People were extremely well received by the audience, as they were able to accompany every word with enthusiastic singing. The piano work that Legend did was a highlight, with his fingers moving across the keys with a dexterity that highlighted the fact that he had received instruction at Juilliard. Nevertheless, as the evening went, there was a feeling that the performance, albeit being polished, did not possess the raw emotional intensity that is characteristic of Legend's very best work. The set is finished, but it is predictable. A basic set design was used for the concert, which let the audience to concentrate on John Legend and his band. The concert was expertly staged. A string quartet and backup vocalists gave luxurious textures to songs such as All of Me, which was his mega hit in 2013 and continues to be a mainstay on wedding playlists. When Legend dedicated the song to his wife, Chrissy Teigen, who was seen in the VIP section, the audience, which consisted of a diverse mix of young couples and veteran fans, exploded in cheers. Although it was a touching moment, it had the air of being prepared, as if Legend was merely hitting the appropriate points rather than revealing his true feelings. There was a polite enthusiasm for the new material that was released from his album, titled My Favorite Dream in 2024. The songs Always and Love demonstrated that John Legend was experimenting with lighter, pop-leaning sounds. Yet these songs did not possess the gut-punch emotionality that he had previously displayed in his music. According to the music critic Amara Cole's book, John Legend, The Making of a Legend, which was published earlier this year, Legend's current output reflects his contentment as a family man and philanthropist. This may explain the move toward lighter, less personal songs that he has been releasing. During the Bowl, this resulted in a performance that was characterized by a sense of security, with less surprises and risks. Moments of connection together with opportunities that were lost. Some remnants of the previous fire could be seen. His voice took on a gospel-like passion during the song Glory, which he collaborated with Common and won an Academy Award for. This allowed him to transmit the anguish and optimism that was associated with the civil rights battle. The crescendo of the song, which was supported by the violins and a thunderous drumline, was particularly impressive and brought about a standing ovation. The same can be said for his rendition of Simon and Garfunkel's Bridge Over Troubled Water, which was a masterclass in self-control and power. Legend's voice gave the impression of being a well-oiled machine, with Legend's banter between songs being consistent with well-known anecdotes about his family and the significant moments in his career. Fans who had hoped for a more in-depth exploration of his personal journey, possibly including musings on his activism or the difficulties of juggling celebrity and motherhood, were disappointed to find that these were not available. Cole's book draws attention to the fact that Legend is reluctant to reveal his flaws on stage, which stands in contrast to other artists, like as Alicia Keys, who frequently incorporate real storytelling into their performances. The appeal that Legend possessed at the Bowl was indisputable. Nonetheless, the emotional reserve that he exhibited served as a barrier. The band and the production are like a sword with two edges. The backup band was of exceptional quality, with tight grooves and luscious harmonies being provided by Paul Jackson Jr., who has been a longtime collaborator and played the guitar. The use of a horn section into the songs Save Room and Good Morning brought about a much-appreciated funkiness that brought to mind Legend's early days in the hip-hop soul scene in New York. In spite of this, there were times when the production was too much for the intimate nature of the performance. With its strobes and dramatic color shifts, the lighting gave the impression that it was more appropriate for a pop extravaganza than it was for an evening with atmosphere. When the music was more subdued, such as when it was playing an acoustic rendition of Conversations in the Dark, the visuals diverted attention away from Legend's vulnerability. The sound quality was another area that was unclear. Although Legend's voice were crystal clear, some people in the top levels of the Bowl noticed muddy audio. This is a typical problem at the venue, but it is disappointing for a singer of Legend's caliber to have anything like this happen. The set was also paced in an inconsistent manner, with a pause in the middle of the show occurring during less well-known songs such as Wild and We Need Love. A more condensed setlist, possibly with a greater number of covers or surprise deep cuts, might have been able to maintain the same level of enthusiasm. The framework of Legend's professional life. Once a hungry young artist who hustled in New York's music scene, John Legend is no longer that person now that he is 46 years old. As an EGOT winner, a television personality, and an advocate for reforming the criminal justice system, he is a global brand. In his book, Cole makes the argument that John Legend's varied career has caused him to become overworked, which has resulted in a reduced sense of urgency in his songs. This metamorphosis was reflected in the performance that he gave at the Hollywood Bowl. A guy who is comfortable in his achievement, but perhaps too comfortable to push further boundaries. Those who came for the nostalgic experience were satisfied, but those who were looking for a transformative experience departed with a feeling of what could have been. The reaction from the audience was one of warmth, but not enthusiastic. A collection of social media posts from the evening, which were compiled from, lauded Legend's voice, but pointed out that there was a lack of spark. An individual who is a fan of John Legend commented, "The show felt like a greatest hits playlist on shuffle. No real story. John Legend's vocals are quite impressive." Another was quoted as saying, "He's still got it, but I wanted more heart." This sentiment is a reflection of the more general criticism, which states that Legend's technical brilliance is indisputable, but that his emotional reserve prevented the night from reaching its full potential. A wonderful singer, and a performance that is risk-free. A resounding round of applause greeted Legend as he exited the stage after the concert had concluded with All of Me and an encore performance of Wake Up America. His voice, which is an instrument that only comes around once in a lifetime, carried the night, and his magnetism kept the audience interested. However, the performance was lacking in the raw, connecting tissue that allows an excellent concert to be elevated to the level of a memorable one. When it came to a career that was characterized by genuine sincerity, this felt like Legend was operating on autopilot. He was polished, professional, but bloodless.